Medion have delved into all-in-one territory with The Touch, a Windows 7 multi-touch machine that's oozing a serious amount of features. Now, its bold design makes a good first impression, it's pretty good looking, and the most obvious external feature is the hinged media bar underneath the screen. It's home to a touch-sensitive row of media controls, a volume knob and a set of speakers, although the sound quality isn't great, so it's probably going to be a good idea to hook it up to some external drivers. The 24-inch 1080p multi-touch screen is good enough quality for HD movies, though it's not as sensitive as some we've tried out, but is great for a bit of pinch and zooming on websites and spinning that globe in Microsoft Surface Earth. Now, this really is the all-in-one that does it all. Round the back, there's HDMI in and out, a VGA port, digital audio, eSATA, a card reader, and both a DVB-T and a DVB-S tuner. Then there's a media center remote included and a very slick slimline keyboard with more playback shortcuts and a built-in mouse. And there's a slot-loading Blu-ray drive on the side too with very good playback quality, but the drive itself is a little noisy. There's a small sideshow display in the centre of the bottom bar as well, which displays desktop gadgets like RSS feeds, the weather, news feeds, emails and IM messages. It's also touch sensitive, so you can use it to create playlists as well, but it's a novelty we'd forego for a drop in that price. The slimline keyboard also comes with touch-sensitive controls, and as far as keyboards go, this one's pretty good and comfortable to type on. Just try not to use it more than the main features. As well as the trackpad, there's a volume slider on the left-hand side, which does make you wonder where you should put your hands. Now, there's also a fingerprint reader to make you feel every bit the spy, which can be used for extra security for web logons. And interestingly, you can assign actions to the rest of your fingers, like launching the media player, for example. Now, I'm afraid I'm going to have to get a little bit negative. The large bar at the bottom of the Touch is just a bit too imposing for a desktop PC. And based on its design, it's much better suited to hanging on your wall as opposed to being set up on your desk as a PC. That's what the bundled remote, AV features and the price say as well. But on the other hand, the touchscreen and sideshow panel look really good close up, not hanging on your wall. So basically what I'm trying to say is one way or another, there's some expensive technology that quite simply isn't going to get touched, no pun intended. So in hindsight, it's the media bar that's probably the mistake. It looks clever, but ended up being the least used component of the lot. Not only are all the controls duplicated several times elsewhere, but the backlight randomly switches on and off for no good reason while you're doing something else on the desktop, which can be quite distracting when watching a movie. Okay, so moving on to its insides, and the Touch is almost as impressively overspec'd on the inside as it is on the out, with a quad-core processor, NVIDIA graphics chip, 4GB of RAM, and a very generous 1TB of hard drive space. Now, although the CPU is last generation, it's a very powerful desktop chip, although one that may be a little bit overkill for just watching movies. Although saying that, the Touch is the best all-in-one for gaming, and although multi-touch games are a little bit scant at the moment, there are some in the pipeline that are worth looking out for. So the Touch provides a wonderful touchscreen experience with loads of features to sink your teeth into, although the touchscreen isn't without its lag issues, and you will find it's not as responsive as you'd like it to be at the best of times, but it is very nice to look at. Now, the Touch also suffers from a bit of an identity crisis caused by features overkill. Less would definitely have been much, much more, and cheaper too.